Good morning, my friends. It is Tuesday. Excuse me. Gotta get the frog out of my throat. It is Tuesday, February 12th, and this is the Zero DTE morning market analysis where we take a look at the market situation and determine our orientation to today's trading, today's Zero DTE trades. What we're looking to do is put on out-of-the-money butterflies generally with an asymmetric twist, so they're super out of the money, small risk, large potential profit. And so we're looking at volatility, market direction, and market structure to figure out where our entry event is going to be. That's it in a nutshell. And today we're going to focus on, because it is an impactful day, more so than the rest, and we've been preparing for this, and that is CPI data is coming out. Inflation is a big mover in the market for zero DTE traders. We have heightened volatility, which means that we have a delay in the rate of decay of premium, and that results in more potential profit to be made in our premium collection trades, as well as more potential volatility of movement. So we're looking at two potential things happening today. CPI data will be released at 8:30 this morning. We'll prepare for that. We'll look at what the implied volatility setup is for a big-ass fly. And then Jerome Powell comes on later at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Yes, 10 o'clock. He also spoke yesterday. I don't expect that. Well, he may have a prepared speech, but he did that yesterday and then did Q&A, so I would imagine that today's meeting won't be a prepared speech. It could be, and then he'll do a Q&A panel. The Q&A panel is kind of interesting because you have a lot of volatility going there. Every word that he utters or every question that's asked presents inflation or Fed's future monetary policy in a slightly different light, and so the market is super in tune to that. I mean, hyper in tuned to every single word, every single syllable. And that's why you see a lot of, basically intraday swings. And that sometimes, like yesterday, presented a possibility for two separate trades. So that's what we've got in store. But before we get to that and our general orientation to the CPI data and Powell, let's take a look at our market situation so we can figure out how wide we're going to be, what our directional bias is, and where our market structure is. All right, and so we'll do that by going to the charts. Here we go. All right, so first we're looking at the VIX and where we are. It's surprising that we're just sitting at 15.9 on the VIX, considering it's a CPI day plus a Powell day. But that's what we have. And so we are still in that 15 to 25 wide zone. We'll take a look at our big-ass fly and see where that's situated. Let's see. We need to go to Thinkorswim. There it is. And our big-ass fly, or a 50-wide fly in the morning that gives us our orientation to volatility. It's actually, the price of the fly right now has been dropping. When I first looked at this, it was around $19.50. Now it's at $18.50. So that means that volatility is rising into the CPI report, which is going to come out in about 40 minutes. So I wouldn't be real quick to get into this trade. I would want to wait right before the CPI report is released. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, yesterday we had Powell speech, today we have CPI, tomorrow we have PPI. This is a big day. So I would imagine that volatility is going to continue to rise and that debit for that big-ass fly is going to continue to drop. So that's pointing me to a maybe really on the heavy side or the wide side of our out-of-the-money fly positions today. So while we're 15 to 25 wide, we're going to be leaning more towards 25, maybe even 30 on a day like today. Yeah, that's what I think. All right, so next up is to look at the market direction. Sorry, I'm being finger challenged here on my trackpad. Go back to Trading View. Our directional bias is up, and that is because we are definitely, yesterday I chose down and we were below the moving average. But if you look at the moving average up here in the upper left-hand corner, it is really hard to really come to any solid conclusion. I mean, we've been going sideways for quite a while, and now it looks like we have some sort of consolidation pattern, maybe a rising wedge. So it looks like we're maybe at that apex of that wedge and we're ready to break out. But so many things can happen today, And yesterday we had a fair amount of movement, but not as much as I would have expected. Today might be a bit different. It could be a breakout day. I don't know. Anyways, directional bias is bullish. Let's take a look at our... Wow, look, we're just starting to take off now. So we're right in the middle of a big volume node. And here's the top of the node, that red line, and at 6103, and the bottom of the node at 6074. Pretty good range. Here are our structural lines inside the node. And normally I have these colored blue inside of the node just for you people that have been following my profile analysis. When I'm looking at structural lines inside of a node, I make them a different color. That way I can easily identify whether, when I'm looking zoomed in, apart from my big picture analysis, I can tell exactly where I'm at. But we're looking for a pullback into one of these nodes and then go long. So, something like this. Bam. All right, and yesterday we had quite a bit of movement. We were choosing a bearish move yesterday, and it looked like that's what was going to happen. In fact, price came right up to the bottom of the node and then went down right at the release of Powell's speech, his minutes or his notes, his prepared notes, and then it just took off and went straight up. But then it came right back down and found support at the bottom of the node. So there was actually potentially two different trades there. One where we went bearish and another one where it was obviously bullish. Right there we had kind of a divergence, and that would have made a good trade. You could have put an out of the money butterfly up here. So today we're going to start off bullish, and we'll probably remain bullish and possibly have two different events to trade. All right. So, what's the strategy? The strategy is, we're leaning, obviously, to the wide out of the money flies, widths, but not going all in aggressive. We're waiting to see how the testimony takes place. He's going to be stepping up at 10 a.m., so be braced for a lot of volatility there. Maybe he didn't make enough impact yesterday and he needs to finish up with whatever his narrative is for future monetary policy. So we have these two trades on deck. Let me get the big head back here and finish up. So for this morning, wait for that volatility event just before the CPI is released at 8:30. You could get a much better pricing because volatility will tend to rise into that economic report release. And so we could get a lower price than what it currently is at, which is $18.15. So it's dropped even further since I first started this. So, now I just saw it flash in the 17s. We could, and that's what I was really expecting. I was expecting something around 15 or so for a debit because for such impactful days today, that's what you usually see. A lot of bunched up volatility, and then it inflates options, and that big ass fly starts rising up like high tide next to a dock. And wait until the 8:30 report, just before it comes out. Put on your big ass fly. You'll get your best pricing. You'll get your widest break evens. You'll get the best gamma, lower gamma, etc. And we'll go from there. I think most people are expecting certain numbers on the CPI. We did have a hot inflation numbers coming out last week, so there's that too. A little bit on edge. Is it going to be coming in dovish or hawkish? Who knows? And then at 10 o'clock will be Jerome Powell. So we'll be looking for that pullback into a structural level prior to that and get into a trade. And then while he's in there, hopefully we'll get some really good push into our fly there that we could potentially take 2 trades. Take one off early, get into another one. We should see. But the key here is asymmetric trades. So we're not going to be taking huge risk, but we're going to be looking for those outsized profits. So there you go. It's a fun day to be a trader, a 0DTE trader. But that's about it. Thank you very much. Coach Ernie out.